All right, welcome back in. Corey Terramana here with you one more time. Video number 2, how I turn my awkwardness, my discomfort, and my shame into a life-changing gift that actually empowers me. So I do it very carefully. Now, there's one thing that I like to do, and I learned this a while back, and it helps. Now, I'm also going to go through a couple practical steps in this video that you can use, take out to the world, and start to process some of these emotions. So what I like to do is, and you've probably heard this before, is I accept the things that I can't change. For instance, some of the tics, they're still here, right? I'm accepting those. I've accepted them, and I'll continue to re-accept them as I go along. So accept the things I can't change, okay? Then I'm gonna use courage to change the things that I can, hence the 4 pillars. Them are the things we can change, right? A good support team so we can vent and share what we need to, right? And be honest and be real in a place that's safe, right? And then, we can work with our nutrition, the right dieting. It's going to help balance us out and give us real sustainable energy, and then the right physical exercise and pillar number 3, and then working the mental game on pillar number 4 and incorporating breathing techniques and all sorts of little things like that. So I like to use that little formula so that I know, what can I change? All right, I'll accept it. Okay, fine. I may not like it. I may get ridiculed in the public from that. And we're going to get into that in just a quick second. And it's going to bring feelings up and all that stuff. We can deal with that. And then there's going to be external things that, we're also going to catch flack from other people. So we're going to get it from inside us and then outside of us. And then, we can have the courage and even the support to change the things that we can, because there are some things that we can do to reduce our anxiety, to minimize our tics, to hide our tics, and to move on some out of the picture altogether from our lives. Like I said, I've gotten rid of the majority of my tics. Now I've just got about 2 to 3, a couple verbal ones and a couple ones in my face. But my shoulder, that one stopped. My head shaking, that one stopped. And it was, really through pillar 2 and 3 that helped me move on from those mostly. And then 3, and then pillar 4. Okay, so let me get right on into this next part here. Now, the big tool that I use on a daily basis to work through this awkwardness and the shame and all that sort of stuff we have inside, a first-class support team. So I have a safe circle. I got a place where I can go on both Marco Polo, on the phone, throughout the day, right? Video chats with everyone. It's my support team. And then the weekly Zoom calls. Now, whether or not you come and join ours, find one out there. It's important that we have a place where we can say, hey, here's how I feel today. Hey, this is bothering me. Hey, this person was mocking me or making fun of me, or just this happened in life and it made me feel awkward. Or I just feel awkward to begin with. What the heck do I do with this? Here's a pretty good rule of thumb, and I've learned this about 10 years ago. Anything that we can't talk about, it's a problem. Okay? So a lot of times, even I went for years not talking about certain things, just holding them all inside, hoping they'd go away. That didn't help. What that created was shame, right? As in, there's something I could have done, but I'm not doing, so I feel bad. So I utilize my support circle every single day. That's why one of the huge things I offer is a couple different levels of support for you to come utilize if you want. All right, now another practical tool, and again, I call this life map, where we design our entire environment, our whole life, where we dig down inside and we go, okay, who am I? What do I want to do in my life? What's important to me in my life? And then we design an entire life around that. So my issues, my tics, my OCD, my ability to not to focus, all that, I went through my environment and my life, and I've designed a career, friendships, my household, my office, and everything to facilitate everything to go in alignment with that. Meaning, I've gotten rid of a lot of triggers, whether that's things you keep around your house, clothes you wear, friends you keep, Facebook pages you go to, things that I'll look at, TV shows. There's a lot of things that are off limits for me for a very good reason. if something's going to bring me super high levels of anxiety, okay, or unnecessary judgments from people that don't really need to be in my life, you know, or opinions from people that don't really matter, I don't go there and I move them people out of my life. You know, a challenging thing that I faced going through college and even well into, yesterday is having the ability to say no to people and having the ability to hold boundaries. So we tend to know when something's not working for us in our life, whether someone's talking to us a certain way or a situation we keep going into it and we shouldn't be. Well, we learn to discover what our boundaries are and then how to hold those up, because here's the reality of the situation is, we struggle with this. I struggle with this. It's uncomfortable. Now, through the grace of God and a lot of hard work, I'm able to go public with this, all right? Because I've done so much work on such a deep, deep level, I can handle people's opinions and ridicules. I've limited my environment through the life mapping course that we're going to do with you guys, if you want to control my space so that it's mine and it's safe. Even some family members, I don't have certain conversations with. Certain things are sort of off limits because it's none of their business. And when it comes to trusting people, we all have soft spots inside, all right? A lot of things are sort of uncomfortable. And so we have to set ourselves up to win. And a lot of that is done through our environment. And to go along with that, another important factor is our internal triggers. So it does me no good when I replay an event from early childhood where I got made fun of, okay? Or a time when someone was mean to me, or a time when I let myself down and I broke my own word and I ended up beating myself about it, for years to come. Well, there's some thoughts that we have to, and this is the golden rule, is acceptance. There's times where I can go, yeah, I screwed up back then. Yeah, I missed this opportunity. Yeah, this person was mean. Okay, I accept it. And a lot of times it gets confused with forgiveness, right? Well, I can forgive them for doing that and all. And once you forgive someone, they're forgiven forever. No, that rehashes quite a bit. I've had to re-forgive certain people and events and things, even myself, multiple occasions. In fact, I've incorporated that into part of my daily practice and my meditation and prayer routine to just consistently ask for that, One of our powerful tools is, like I said in that first video, I've reduced a lot of my tics, all right? Eliminated one, and, two. And then I've accepted what's left. So that's a big deal. Being able to accept, hey, I'm in this position. Okay, now what next? See, what we're going for is constantly being in action around something. So to balance my highs and my lows, this is probably the third biggest thing I use, is I do my best to maintain a steady balance, okay? Now, someone like me, I like getting ramped up about stuff. I do. I like, to bring that passion and the fuel and the fire to a situation. I can bring it, And when things go really, really well, I can go up to a 10, from a 1 to 10, how excited and how happy. I can go to a 10 or an 11 real fast. But here's what I know. After implementing and living these 4 pillars for some years now, I do best when I stay in the middle. Because oftentimes when I have these super highs, they tend to be followed with little lows, with big lows. And so that up and down doesn't do it for me. That pigging out on all the sugar and all the soda bringing me up, I get to crash. You know what I mean? Working out too hard, being super duper sore, doesn't really work for me, okay? Because then the next couple of days I suffer. So we have to find our flow. We have to find our balanced space. We have to create our environment and sort of redesign our life. Like I said, these aren't only short-term fixes. Some of these will pass you through some really challenging situations. And in this next video, number 3, I'm going to show you how to go in and do what you need to do in public situations. Show up in social situations and actually excel. And how, we're going to get into it in just a second, how I use all this stuff, the awkwardness, the discomfort, the tics, the struggle, as something that's going to empower me forward and give me real purpose. This is part of my purpose of, why I'm here. It's to go through all this. And I'm glad I had to go through it all. And I'm still going to go through it. It's to be able to give back. It's to unearth some of our gifts. So like this fourth part of, how do I turn all the awkwardness and the shame and the feelings and stuff like that into a positive? Well, a lot of it's going to come down into our fourth pillar of what we do is it's mental exercises. Okay? It's the ability to breathe and, change our context in a moment. For instance, it's not a curse to have Tourette's. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay? It's all in how, our disposition of something, it's going to either empower us or disempower us. So if I look at a wall that is black and I go, man, that wall is black. I hate black. It's not white and it's this and it makes me feel this. Well, again, back over the thing, it's going to bring me down. It's not going to empower me. It's going to disempower me. All on how I see it. So now if I look at the same black wall and I go, oh man, fantastic. Black is this, black is that. I'm going to learn to love this. I'm going to see, how the other colors will pop off of the black. When I put a painting over a black wall, those colors are going to pop, right? It's going to be more beautiful. It's going to bring a good contrast to something. So it's all in how we can shift our attitude around something, because certain things aren't going to change. That's the truth. Most of the work, I had people call and it's like, can you get rid of all my tics and help? All this. I said, no, we can't. And they're like, oh, well, what can you do? Well, we can coach you through working through all that sort of stuff and helping you implement, some of these pillars to balance your energy, help you feel better about yourself, help you show up stronger in situations, even though inside you want to just turn around and leave and run. So there's always things we can do to be in action. The one thing that I know is when I have support, when I got people pushing behind me going, hey, well, I'll listen to you, Corey. Good support team can hear you. And that's sometimes what I need is just to be heard. That's the truth of it. And most of our Zoom calls, we're doing that. And it helps me push forward and show up as the man I want to be. So a lot of it can be our attitude. If I got to walk down to the mailbox, I can either be pumped that I'm going to get vitamin D from the sun, I'm going to get to see the sunset, I might meet a neighbor, have a good conversation, or I could be like, man, I got to go down to the mailbox. God, I just got the mail 3 days ago. Man, I hope that dog doesn't bark at me or bite my shoe 3 doors down. So, and again, this takes practice. Often we have to call it stinking thinking. Well, everyone around me, when I was younger, and even now, there's a lot of people that have just stinking thinking, and it rubs off on us. So we have to really fortify ourselves in, and we've got to really dig down deep and get really clear on, who are we? What are the things we're accepting? How do we minimize all the triggers in our life so that we can feel a little bit better and life can go a little smoother? Remember, increments in building our quality of life, small, little things. We plant them little mustard seeds. We start, I do a lot of affirmation work, which is in pillar number 4, the mental game. I have written down some of my worst thoughts, my most challenging self-judgments, and some of the nastiest things people have said to me, right? Put them all in a column. Then another column, and we're going to do this. This is a great exercise. Then in the other column to the right, I put the opposite of those, right? So if I take in a bunch of the column left, I'll feel like trash. And I build the column on the right of the things I do need to hear, I do want to hear. Better ways of phrasing these things over here. Affirmations, right? They're positive, declarative statements that over time, our self-talk can get built to lift our confidence and lift our self-esteem. And, over time, depending on how receptive we are to it, how hard we work at it. This takes quite a bit of work, that helps us shift from, I got a big problem, can't get rid of it, I'm hopeless, to, wait a second, I got a gift here. I got some uniqueness here. I got the ability to give someone else a new insight. I got the ability to help change someone else's life. That's a big deal. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and please go down and check out the third video. And if you'd like to, go ahead and call our office and let's talk about your situation. If you can't get a hold of me, my secretary will put you on with one of our other specialists. However, you could probably still make an appointment to get on with me. And again, I want to thank you so much, and hopefully I get to work with you here, and you like what you've been seeing, and this is sort of right up your alley. Normally it is or it isn't with someone. So thank you so much.